Hey everyone,
Hey everyone.
I'm Kiaya, Thrifty Redhead on Instagram.
I'm Caitlin. Did I thrift that closet on Instagram?
And welcome to Flip That Jawn.
We are two full-time resellers from Philly, and this is a weekly podcast that explores the ins and outs of reselling while linking arms with the reselling community to help grow and learn from each other.
We're excited to connect with you and new voices that will help to inspire and motivate you in your reselling journey. Join us as we learn more about ourselves, each other, and our ever-growing awesome reselling community.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Flip That Jawn podcast. Today is our third episode, and for our third episode, we wanted to do something really special because y'all know we love to expand our community and to just link arms with even more people in the reselling community. So today we actually had a special guest, Margaret, who is at September and Spring over on Instagram. She came on, she dropped some truth bombs with us. She shared with us a little bit of her story, her why, what keeps her going, and we just loved it. We just had such a great time, and we can't wait for you guys to be able to listen to it and to be able to inspire yourself, get motivated, get hyped, just to have a good time with us. As always, we 1000% always say we love to continue the conversation that we bring up here in the podcast. So not only can you continue that conversation with me and Kaya over on our Instagrams, you can also continue that conversation with Margaret over on her Instagram. You guys will not regret giving her a follow. She's got truth bombs, and as you can tell in this episode, we love her Instagram and everything that she offers to our community. So that being said, go give Margaret a follow at September and Spring, and we hope you guys enjoy and get as much out of this conversation as we did. It was a perfect start to the day, and with that being said, we will see you guys in the podcast. Welcome to ASMR, the third episode. Okay. No, one episode. If you want it, we bring the ASMR. Hey guys, and welcome back to Flip That Jawn. Thanks for coming back to episode 3. Kaya, we made it to episode 3. Are you shocked?
Oh my gosh. I'm not shocked. I'm just like more excited every time we get to record.
I know, right? It's I get like it's something good because every time I'm like, I get like excited when we're like, yeah, we're gonna record this, and I get like the little butterflies, and then like true facts, me and Kai were just on for like an hour, like we were just recording an hour ago, and then we had to sound check for an hour. If you guys haven't noticed, we've kind of upped the game for this podcast, so please stick around. We just want to bring the best thing to you, so. Before we could jump into things, as per usual, we like to kind of acknowledge each other's achievements for the week, some success, whether it be personal, business, whatever it is. Just like to be each other's hype men. So, Kaya, what did you achieve this week?
This week it was mostly just sticking to my schedule. You know, I started the sleep routine, so I can try, emphasis on try, to get enough sleep during the night, you know, so that my body can be energized and ready for the day. And it's been going pretty good. We've been doing the daily accountability meetings, which I love.
Kaya really be holding on that. She really be here at 6:30. Like, I know. She, you know what? Kaya has to give it up to you because we got a lot of people in that group, and it is like there's no judgment. Not everyone works at 6:30 in the morning. And we all get the life happens, but sometimes I'm just like, when I don't want to get up, I'm not like, Kaya's gonna yell at me. She would text me in the morning, like I think she texts me like Kaya's like my reselling mom sometimes, guys. She's she's my hype man, but she's like my reselling mom, so she'll text me at like 6.
I can't help it, y'all. Mom is just in me for anybody.
I love it. Thank you for being my reselling mom. You text me at 6:05 and I'm like, oop, I'm up. Up right now.
Like no shit. Like I literally like my alarm will go off, like 2 alarms will go off. So I had like iPhone, love it. they just like added something into the health app where you can like create your sleep routine. And so it's like a separate alarm. Then it gives you like all of these insights. And if you wear your watch, it tells you like your heartbeat, like the resting time. I was like, oh, this shit is like really advanced. So I have like an alarm within that app. And then it's like my other alarm, you know, through the regular clock. So it'll go off twice. And it's like, all right, the second one is like, don't snooze me. It's time to get up. And then when I roll out of bed, I like get on my it's like the do not disturb is off now. So I like swipe up the texts and I just feel like good morning, like to Kaylin.
Always with the little sun
Your
emoji.
first thing.
It's great. It holds me accountable. I mean, that's the whole purpose of an accountability group. It's just and I know there's no ever judgment, you know, not showing up or anything by all means. But it just does help when you have someone in there, and also it just kind of helps the process. So thank you for that. Thank you for being my reselling mom as always. So I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. I think a lot of people struggle with that. So especially reselling. I mean, we all know how I am. It could like go 24/7 on a live stream working. So it's something definitely have to be worked on. So I acknowledge that. That's a huge achievement. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you? Any achievements this week?
Oh my God. I'm always trying to find an achievement. Every day I get up is an achievement. No, I'm kidding. I mean, truth. But so probably I finally set up a eBay store this week, which was something that I've been intimidately avoiding and putting myself in front of, and just trying to get over that fear of doing that. And it's proven to like do it. And it's helping the business. It gets more eyes on product, and it's just the next step in 20. You know, we both said this year is the year of growth. So it's a good way to offer that growth into the experience. So I've been excitingly about that, but I was a little nervous from the horror stories of everybody telling me about eBay.
Yeah, you guys know my story.
But you know, you got to roll with the punches.
You gotta roll with the punches, baby. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, right. Thank you, The Incredibles. Thank you to just any Pixar movie in general. But so that was my achievement for the week. It doesn't seem that big, but it is big business wise. So it's just been trying to get everything over to that. So pretty easy peasy, taking it day by day. So I'll take it. I think those are both really good accomplishments. As always, guys, like we'd love to hear what you guys accomplished during the week as well. We'd love to hype you up. You know, me and Kai are both hype mans if you're listening.
Yes.
So feel free to, as always, you know, continue the conversation on the podcast, but also just like, you know, slide in those DMs or like drop in the comments.
Appropriately, guys. Appropriately
being the keyword. But you know, if you slide my DM like this week I did this, I'm gonna hype you up. So
yeah, I may put you on blast.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on blast in stories. Me and Kiaya will put you on blast in stories. So yeah, just we love to celebrate that. No matter if it's small win or big win, we love to hear that. So as always, I'm super proud of Kiaya. She's killing the game. But in that regard, oh, thanks, Bam. You guys are getting an interesting take on this because usually we're doing this in the morning, and I think we're about like I'm like two copies. Wow, I sound like you today with like the snipper. Or putting up a snipper. I was like, wait a minute. Have shouted out each other's achievements, and you know, told you guys that we'd like to hear your achievements as always. We also love to do a little something here. That shouts out to the people that are over on Instagram, people that are here. I meant to say, like, if you guys are here from episode 1, thank you so much for being here. Like, y'all are the MVPs, y'allthebomb.com. And if you're just new here, we're just super excited, and we welcome you into the podcast. But a little something we like to do here is we like to talk a little bit about Kiaya's Posher Spotlight. We like to shout out some resellers that are just killing the game, that are they're awesome. So Kiaya, who we got today? I know we got a few people. I know they've been anxiously waiting for the
Yes.
shout out. So
Yes. And mind you guys, you know, Pasha Spotlight just revamped it, started it back up. And we're on to week 3. So we just finished up week 3, Pasha Spotlight. And that went out to my girl, Nicole Rossi.
whoop,
At
whoop.
Nicole Rossi _ Posh Closet. It's a funky way of spelling it. So you got to get to my IG to check it out. But Nicole had the pleasure of meeting her virtually through Caitlin in Posh Babes group chat. And she is super talented. Like her closet, if you guys have to check out her Poshmark closet. Like it, what is her Poshmark closet name? Oh,
Again, you guys
Nicole
can check.
Nicole.
Again, sorry, Nicole, you're getting the real shout out right now. But like,
but she's our sister. She's our sister from Jersey. You know, we from Philly, so Jersey people, you know, we shout them out definitely. And you know, her Pasha Spotlight is so dope. She travels everywhere, which we're totally jealous of, Nicole. Like she's been to London and Ireland, Caitlin.
I'm living vicariously. I'd like you to point that out to me. Yeah, right. You're like, ooh, Caitlin's white Irish. She probably wants to go to Ireland.
She probably wants to go to Ireland.
Her homeland. She is like a leprechaun.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's awesome. Yeah, shout out to just everyone in the Posh Babes chat. If they're listening, I know they're listening because they've been hyping this up for us.
Yeah,
they've been doing their crazy ass. They're like, guys, share this, guys, podcast. They're probably so freaking tired of us.
When is it?
But Nicole's actually, yeah, Nicole's awesome. She just brings a vibe, and if you guys, you definitely have to go over to Kaya's Instagram to see it all, just because we're giving you the snippers. We're giving you the snippers of the Posher Spotlight. But they go in a little depth, and I really like how Kaya asked them what their piece of advice is for resellers. And hers is really dope. It was just like, don't give up. And I think like people just got to hear that sometimes.
You really do.
Whether you're like new or a veteran, just, you know, Nicole out here
she
being
like literally said, she was like, don't get discouraged when sales are slow. And I felt like you're like speaking to everyone, because experienced poshers, new poshers, we all get that feeling. It's a roller coaster ride. And
she hypes people up in the chat too. So like definitely go. She is not, I mean, she got that Jersey vibe, so she is like,
she's a share queen. She'll share it, y'all.
She's real, she'll hype you up. She always just brings positivity to everybody in that chat, no matter where they're coming from. So we love Nicole. She's awesome.
Follow y'all.
Yeah, go and all the Potter Spotlights you can find over on Kaya's Instagram. So if you guys are trying to like write down on a piece of paper everybody's Instagram, don't worry.
You ain't even got to do that, y'all.
Yeah, make it real easy.
Thrifty Redhead.
Follow everybody.
Yep. Thrifty Redhead on Instagram with 2 Y's. Don't forget the 2 Y's, y'all. Because if you don't, you're gonna get some Caucasian lady with red hair.
Yeah, and you'll be like, wait, this doesn't.
This isn't her. Check it out.
And if you do find Kaya's highlight white lady doppelganger, please let me know. I'm very interested in that. And you get a gold star from me if you do find that. But yeah, definitely go check her out. She's awesome.
Yeah. And also it's under my highlights on my Instagram page. So you can like just click that and you can see it all there. But yeah. Yeah. You gotta use the highlights on Instagram.
Yeah. That will have to go into an episode with Instagram, but yeah, highlights are the bomb. But she's so smart. I'm just hyping you up over here in my ASMR style. Then is so smart by using highlights. Somebody like, can you please just do an ASMR episode? Like,
my daughter loves those freaking videos. I don't know why. But that's a whole podcast episode too, how crazy my kids are. But anywho, all right. So second week in Pacha Spotlight, we had my fave girl ever, Marie Circo at Magnolia _thread. And Marie is in my accountability group. and she is freaking hilarious. Like, I love Marie to death. That girl, you talk about hype, man. Like,
Oh yeah,
that
she's
lady
definitely
right there will hype you up and be like, she has a joke for everything. If you guys have to go read her posture spotlight, because
it's
she
like
literally
comedy hour
said,
too.
yes, she was like, I know every song, like from 2 Chainz to Dolly Parton. I was like, wait,
Oh,
that
we
is
know how I love Dolly
all
Parton. Yo,
right.
Marie, ooh, I'm coming at you with that Dolly Parton.
Listen, Marie is like the sweetest, hilarious person. She's always down to try new tools and stuff in reselling, and she gives us the reviews. And I'm like, all right, I'm definitely gonna get that Jiffy, or no, I'm not gonna get that ring light. Like, she really makes my decisions for me.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love people that are willing to be like the test takers for everybody else.
Yeah.
So if it fails, it's like and they're real about it. They're not gonna just try to peddle it off because they have an affiliate code. I think a lot of people in the reselling community don't do that. So I will always go with like a reseller, and I always feel like I can just do research sometimes by just people I follow. So we love Marie. Marie is awesome. She's a fountain of knowledge.
She is a huge fountain, and she just launched her
Come drink.
Repower Resale.
Yes.
She used to be like a business, like a bookkeeping person, and she decided to like bring that into reselling. So tax season is upon us, and if you have any questions, if you're lost in the sauce like me, contact Marie and her new bookkeeping accounting business, because she can definitely give you some tips and help you out.
Yeah, we love, especially taxes are not my strong suit. So if anyone that I can delegate,
but throw some other numbers in front of my face, and I probably can't.
I can count money as long as I can keep it. If it's going somewhere else, then that's where the problem lies, sis. But definitely check out Marie. She's got a lot of stuff going on. And like I said, she a fountain. She ready for everybody to just come drink from the fountain. She'll be like, Caitlin, that's a weird analogy.
She'll probably use it.
But she's probably like cracking up too. And then so definitely again, you can find her on the posture spotlight under Kiaya's highlights as well. Give her I just love the posture spotlights you do, because it's like sometimes it's people that I know, but then it's also like, it's just, again, like this podcast, it's expanding that circle of people that you can learn and grow from. So,
and that was the whole point of it, for people, who I may know that you may not know. And look how we can all come together and benefit and help each other. I love that. I love being the middleman in that part.
Man.
Yes.
There's no one to stop. I love it. Okay, and then we also have one more person with the posture spotlight.
Yeah, so she was my first posture spotlight. It was Shannon at Frugal Socialite. And I met Shannon virtually, like when I first started reselling. And then I went to Posh Fest 2 years ago, and I met her in person. So it was like finally putting a face to the name. And it's like you get to see each other and you're like, oh my God, I knew you forever. Even though this is like the first time I'm only meeting you, which is strange. But
I feel like a lot of people in reselling, like I felt like that, like when I met you, like we had talked only virtual. We're playing this party together, and then we get together for like coffee and to give each other stuff. And I was just like, literally, you're like down the street. I'm like, hey boo, and you're like, this bitch is crazy. You're like, you turn in the car. No, I think a lot of times, people in the reselling community, they're just them. So, Shannon's awesome.
She's very sweet. She is so motivating and supportive. Like, she shares all of my posts. She comments, she engages, she gives like all her insight, and I just love it. Like, I love getting feedback from people. Like, that's what I really love about my social media, is being able to connect and actually talk to these people and see like, what's going on, because sometimes we just need that. We need to talk to another person, even if you don't know them. It's good to just engage, especially in this community. But Shannon is from a small town. She's a part-time reseller, and her special thing that that she stated in reselling was very simple but very useful. And it was just like, just chill.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like, yeah, I definitely, I think it was like 9 a.m. Already been up since 6:30. Sometimes you just gotta chill.
Just chill. Like she was just like, just chill. Like that's something that resellers, we gotta understand because we go hard in the paint all day long and don't know how to just chill.
Yeah, it really is a thing. And it can be toxic. It can be also good for you to have that vibe, but just taking that minute back. Because sometimes I feel like when I don't chill and then I try to do stuff that's important in my business, like a listing or like book, and it's gonna get messed up at that point because I'm like all over the place, and then I'm like losing my head at the end of the month trying to do bookkeeping. So I think I really took from that too. Yeah, definitely Posture Spotlight is a fantastic way, guys. Of course, if you're not following Kiaya already, you should definitely go follow her on Instagram. It's Thrifty Redhead with 2 Y's. Please, if you find her white doppelganger, please let me know. So we can shout out her white doppelganger on the podcast. Yeah, no, definitely go. And then even myself, some of the people like have been, it's that weird 9 degrees of separation between me and Kiaya. But some people I don't know, and so it's an opportunity for me to expand that circle that way. So thank you for doing that, Kiaya. Thank you for being everyone's hype man and
yes, of course. And remember, it's every Friday you'll get a new posture. And if you're interested in being a part of the Posture Spotlight, just DM me, y'all, because I just literally randomly pick them.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. Kiaya showed me who the Posture Spotlight is, and I was like, girl, that's me. I didn't even ask. And you're like, yep. And I was like, okay.
I was just like, I randomly will go through my following list and just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Don't have to have a certain amount of followers. You can have 1 or 2 followers. I don't care. We need to see everybody in this community because it's a lot of us.
Everybody gets a moment to shine. And everybody can learn from something. I think I said that this week is like we're all so vastly different, but we can all acknowledge and like link arms in that and accept it. I think reselling is like the one place you can be just weird. And people love it. Like the weirder you are, the better. So if you think about coming to reselling, like, and you're like, oh, I think I'm too weird. I mean, like.
You're in the right space.
Line. Don't be, disrespectfully weird to people, but like, if you like making weird reels, if you like you think you have a weird fashion style, you think you're just weird at stuff, people love that. We're a wacky and weird community, and I'm all for it. So that's the Posture Spotlight for the week. We had a lot to work out this week, but shout out to everybody on that, and go give them a follow. So we also like to do something on here called the In Case You Missed It segment, where we kind of highlight something that happened in the reselling community that is of importance, or something maybe you didn't really see. There's a lot of stuff that always goes on in our community, so I feel like there's always something that I miss. So I try to share it with everyone. So this week we wanted to shout out the fact that Poshmark actually went live on the stock market under. That's a huge accomplishment for a young company. Very exciting. They did a ring the bell with everyone virtually. It's crazy to look up the facts on any single news reliable news source. It was in there. So that's something really cool that happened. No, do you know anybody that I know that they gave ambassadors the head up to actually buy the IPO, which was like $44.
Not every ambassador though. It was like randomly chosen because I didn't get an email. Shade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird because I know that there was an application process to it, so it wasn't guaranteed that you were going to get it. Yeah. So you could buy in, but also I don't know. I think I know a few people that bought in at that price. And good for. I will always hype them up. I'm very happy for them. And then I know people that bought the day that it went on, or it showed on the floor, whatever the proper term. My dad's a banker, and I don't even know what the proper term is, but
it makes me want to go watch Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I played the stock market game in 5th grade. Is it like that? But it's with real money. So I'm gonna make smart choices. But that's super exciting. Huge shout out to Poshmark for that, for being a great company that is hopefully I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's interesting. Where's that gonna lead? I think I'm looking at it in a positive way where if you have investors, it means more money is going to come in. And that means more opportunities for ambassadors. That means I know they rolled out a bunch of new platform features as well that they wanted to pull out. So you got to think of it that way. The investments are probably going to pay off if you are a seller on Poshmark in some way or another. So that's super exciting. And that is, in case you missed that, just wanted to shout that out. So Kiaya, we have a really cool episode today.
Yes, I'm excited.
I know we're both really excited. So if you've been here for the past few episodes, it's just been me and Kiaya kind of kicking it, spilling some tea, talking about everything, learning from each other.
And we get to spill the tea with somebody else.
Yes. So we have a special guest today. Kiaya, you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, our special guest today is Margaret at September in Spring. That's her name on Instagram, y'all.
Yeah, that's her Instagram handle. I she has a bunch of different names, so but if you want to find her on Instagram, definitely find her on Instagram.
Yes, so Margaret is amazing. I've been following Margaret for a while on Instagram, and I'm just like so in love with her style, like her aesthetic, like everything. She's just so chill and so decent. So I'm just like, when we decided to have these episodes, and I was like, and we need to have a guest, I was like, oh, I know who I want. I know who I want to see. I know who I want to talk to. I want to talk to Margaret.
Yeah, and she definitely she's gonna drop some gems in here for us to talk about. I love her Instagram. I loved learning about kind of like you never really know like what people do before they're resellers, right? So you guys are gonna hear about that, a little bit about her journey coming here, a little bit what she recommends, and just like she's just an awesome person. To vibe with. Like she's so much fun. Like she just cracks me up.
She really is. And I appreciate her for coming on and talking to us, and
I love it.
But so I'm super excited, Margaret. Thank you so much for coming on.
Definitely. I when it's Kiaya, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. When she reached out, I was like, hell yeah, I'm there. I don't even care. I don't care.
She was like the first person to respond back. I was like, yes, she's into it. Like,
yeah,
we got her.
I love the support. I thoroughly just enjoy like this. I know we're gonna get into it, but this whole like reselling community, how everybody is just like all for each other. And that's what it's about. And it's just about people just giving other people an opportunity. Y'all open up a lot of doors for those that just want to step out and step out on faith. And that's basic what my story is just basically stepping out on faith and just doing this thing.
Yes.
Like,
that's awesome. So Margaret, why don't we you want to introduce yourself to the listeners, because we know a little bit about you. We obviously know your name, but you want to like that'd be weird if we didn't, right? But like if you want to just say a little bit about yourself, like where you are, like location,
just like some quick facts,
media handles, where you resell, maybe.
Yeah,
just quick facts.
Okay, from Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised.
Yes.
I am on a couple of platforms. I used to be on all of them, but then I realized some were not for me.
Right.
So I'm basically on Poshmark. I'm Hello September on there, and Depop. I'm Hello _September on there, and of course I have my website, hello-september.com. You gotta put that dash in there. If you don't, you ain't gonna get me. So
we don't know what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get, but you gotta put that dash in between hello and September, and that's me. And I'll be launching a lot of new items on the 18th. So I am excited about that. that's trying to develop, and this thing is ever changing, and I'm trying to like grasp it because you just do not know the way the reselling world is, and just business in general. It can flip on you so quick. You'd be like, I thought purple was the end color. Now you're telling me it's indigo.
Real.
You like, shoot, I was going in the wrong direction. But yeah, that's me a little bit in a nutshell. I've been reselling for about 5 years now, a little over 5 years. Totally got into it by accident. Really had no idea what I was doing. I started off by getting stuff off Wish, and I was like, this is taking too damn long. I can't get my stuff in a decent amount of time because it was selling like back when, even 5 years ago, there wasn't a lot.
Wish, like the app, like the Wish app.
Yeah.
Wait, the one that like you can buy
the one that
something
gives you all the weird recommendations,
and you can get like you buy like a like real quick though. My cousin bought a bunk bed off of Wish, right? She thought she was buying a bunk bed. I said, girl, you really thought she was buying a bunk bed off of Wish? It came, right, and it was in like the tiniest box. So she was like, "What bunk bed is this?" And it was like for like a Barbie doll house.
Yeah, that Wish.
She's like, that one. Okay, we can continue. I just wanted to make sure that was the right one.
But that's right. You never know what you're gonna get. And like that stuff, it wasn't what was pictured. And I said, this got to be a better way. And I said, let me just go to the Goodwill. Let me see what I find there. Completely came upon this where I had no idea about reselling, about flipping, upcycling, nothing. And fell in love with it. Realized that, okay, I have the like push that I've always had, like for being an entrepreneur, and just wanted to be my own boss and have my own little side thing. But boy, when I stepped up in this, I said, oh, this is it. I thoroughly enjoyed this world. This world is awesome. I love it. But that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. It's a great nutshell.
Yes. I love how a lot of everyone's stories are like you fall into it. Like you didn't just plan on being like, I want to grow up and be a reseller. And it's like, it just happens. And then when it happens,
I actually wanted to be in politics. I wanted to be a Democratic.
Look, yes. Like, what? Good. Wow, that's like the first I'm hearing it from like anybody.
Yes, I studied political science. I was in sociology. I really wanted to do that. And then I realized, I've been done hurt somebody out here trying to.
Look, Margaret would have been at the Capitol like, this is not going down.
I was literally like, what was happening? I said, man, Jesus knew not to put me in politics.
We're going to direct you someplace else.
This is not for you.
Wow, that's an interesting fact, though. That's an interesting fact to know about you.
Yes.
That is. It's like every surprise. And honestly, too, I've never heard someone say like they came from Wish. To me, I was like, wow.
Yeah. I started off on I was getting that stuff from Wish. It like took a month and things were selling before I would even have it.
Oh man.
Terrible.
So it's almost like you were doing like drop shipping, kind of like reselling with drop shipping.
Except it's like skipping that. You're getting the middle step. It's initially drop shipping, you're not supposed to be the middleman. So
exactly. I was the middleman.
Yeah, she was the middleman. So she was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, Wish is so wacky.
Yeah.
I think there's still a backpack that like my partner ordered like 3 years ago that has not arrived.
Wow. No, that stuff is ridiculous. I mean, it was selling, but like I said, it was like a month in between. I couldn't wait that long, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't know that I could like buy in bulk, and I didn't know.
Yeah, but I mean, you learn as you grow with reselling, and look, you learned, and now look where you are.
Yes,
and you can teach it to everyone else who's listening to this podcast. Don't order from Wish.
Don't do it.
If you're thinking about it, you're like, okay, Margaret said it didn't work for her, so we're not going to do it.
Don't do it unless you want to start pulling your hair out.
Unless you want a bunk bed for your Barbie house.
A bunk
Oh my
bed.
God.
A Barbie bunk bed.
So because I said, sis, what was you thinking? Like, you paid $10 for a bunk bed. Like, why did you think you were gonna? I was just like, oh, no, it's not where it's at.
Oh shoot.
Oh
So
my
in your quick
goodness.
facts, you kind of just answered like what we had next, like what brought you to reselling. See how it like all ties in, you know?
Yes, and but my so I, like I said, got into it by accident.
Mhm.
My now fiance boyfriend at the time
Right.
was like, babe, won't you just, just do this as like a side hobby? And because like I said, I wanted to get into politics. That changed, and then literally I was a publicist for a second. Like I had my own little thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Realized real quick I do not like writing, so nope. I enjoyed doing press releases, but I was like, I'm done with this writing
Right.
thing. And then I blogging. Yeah, that's another writing. I know where my strengths and my weaknesses are, and writing is not it. It's not a strength.
Right.
And then he was like, babe, just do something that you love, that you want to flourish in, and see where you can take it. And he was like, why don't you just keep doing your thrifting thing? And I was like, babe, that's what I'm gonna do. And I took it and I ran with it. Now I'm taking over the living room and the dining room.
It happens.
And he's like, I can't wait till we get a bigger space so you can have your own. I'm taking it over.
Yes, like remember, I'll tell my fiance, remember you told me to do this. This is all your fault.
That's right. Remember what you said, Day. Yeah. But he appreciates it and he loves it.
Oh yeah, that's good. That support is amazing.
Margaret, do you just exclusively then source? So you said you came from Wish to Goodwill. So do you exclusively just source from thrift stores, or do you kind of use that experience that you have from like buying from another reseller and maybe like going with wholesale, or like do you just primarily stick to sourcing on your own and sourcing off the internet, or do you do a kind of combination of both?
Combination of both. I am all for going online, other resellers, other like ThreadUp, even though I can't stand them. That's
girl, join the club.
We all club.
We're all
like ThreadUp. You gonna make some changes?
Team no ThreadUp over here.
No ThreadUp.
ThreadUp's like, we will never sponsor your podcast.
Listen, they're, brash. I can't. But anyways, but yeah. So other resellers, other sites, the Real, I've gotten some great stuff off of for $, like $6. Like it's real good. I do.
I was gonna say, I see those Chanel earrings on the 18th. I'm ready to ball out.
Right?
Listen, okay. I'm dipping and dabbing in a few things, and I have always been crafty and artsy. My mom's an artist, and it's been ingrained in me to just be free thinking and non-judgmental and all that. So I got into the world of upcycling, and a lot of people can't afford the $600 Chanel earrings. However, they would definitely rock a pair of upcycled earrings that have been recreated, but they're still authentic. They're stamped, and they're just not, the absolute earring that you would buy, but now they have been created into earrings. That's what I love. Just bringing new life to things that had an opportunity to be on someone. There's a story. I know that there's a story behind it.
Yes.
And I just love the journey of certain garments and how they wind up still serving a purpose. I just love it. I just love upcycling. So
I think that's awesome, because I don't know if I'm the only one right now on the podcast that has definitely seen a change from just buying like you said, the standard Chanel and then reselling that. I'm seeing a huge change in people being like, okay, this is a great product, but I'm going to put my own stamp on it.
And I think that's what makes it different for everyone. Like that would probably attract me more in buying that. because it's a
Yeah.
unique
Yeah.
piece.
Right. Yeah. And
So whether it's like jewelry or like tie dyeing, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
a
that
huge
was like a huge thing in
too.
2020. I think like everybody became a
man,
professional
I
tie
hopped on that
dyer.
bandwagon. I was on that bandwagon.
Listen, I learned from everyone off of social media. Like, oh snap, you got to put it this way, and oh, you can use ice cubes. And I was just like, oh snap, like this is a thing.
Oh, I didn't even know about the ice
Oh
cubes. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
basic.
I was like that method to me looked very much easier, and it looked like more bright colors when I seen that method. And I was like, how? I didn't even know that.
Oh shoot, yeah,
They,
hit me to something.
yes,
No,
thank you,
idea.
Instagram and TikTok for showing me that. Yeah, but just to go back real quick, Margaret, you just talked about like being artsy and stuff, and I just want to say, me and Caitlin, we talked about this on the intro. Your page is the cleanest, like attractive page I've ever seen. I'm so serious, and it all comes down to being, the artist in you, the creativeness that you have, because it's so clean, and just being so clean and simple, it just looks so bomb. I'm just like,
I appreciate
yes,
that.
and I told you that before.
What did I said it's like a chic wonderland. This
Oh.
morning I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's a chic
Yes,
wonderland.
and I'm just like,
Aw.
it's so decent. Like, I'm on your Instagram page right now, straight stalking, and I'm just like, her pictures, it looks so professional and so clean. I'm just like, what made you come into that? And I know you talked about it before, like the neutral side. You talked about your neutrals and why you choose like the white, the clean, the cream, like all of that. So can you just like talk to us a little bit about like how you format your page?
Yes. So I look at other people's pages for inspiration, to be honest.
Okay.
What is attracting their likers? Why are their likers commenting or even reposting? Because they're clear, they're to the point. I watch a lot of what is that show? $1 Million Listing.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny how realty and reselling are like pretty much the same thing. They're just selling houses. The way that they show their houses is clean. There's no mess. There's just no, and I'm like, okay, my Instagram can be my house or be the house. If I just clean it up, it looks a little bit more inviting. So therefore, let me just see how I can pose and, should I like the minimalistic vibe. I like the clean, less is more type, energy. So when I'm posting, I try not to make it like super cluttered. I don't, if that makes sense. I just really want it to be like a specific item or just me, so you can get exactly what I'm trying to give you. Like, I want you to look at the earrings, so I'm only going to put the earrings in the picture. So I just really enjoy just having like clean, like aesthetic. And you would think my home matched that, girl. Nope. No.
I think we're all in the same boat on that one.
You know what I'm saying? What you be seeing them pictures to be like reality versus IG. Listen, it's when I get my clean clothes out the dryer, do you think I fold them up? No, they go on a chair and I just
or stay in the
I
laundry
get my
basket for a week like me and then gotta redry.
Right? Processing takes 7 to 14 business days. Let's just say that. When I get my clothes out the dryer or washer. But yeah, so that aesthetic is just really like attractive to me, and I try to just, like I said, keep it clean so everyone can see exactly. And I like there was a really, like, I can't even remember her name. She was an influencer, and she says she posts 2 pictures every other day, and it bumped up her like algorithm, like stats and all that stuff. So I'm trying to mimic that in a way, because I want to be more present online, since my business is online.
Right.
So if I can create a buzz and a larger audience, I'm trying to like do different things to kind of like help that out. I don't know. I'm just using everybody as like a like influence and just motivation so I can be the very best me I can be online.
I love it. Actually, so like last week or episode before this week, I've had you on was just talking about being authentic in your business. And when I look at your page, it's like I love that analogy you said of house, because it's so true. Like when people ask like, well, what is reselling? I'm like, how people flip houses? It's kind of the same thing. That's like my go-to analogy. But I never really thought of that. Like Instagram is your house, but like I'm gonna tell you, like your house looks great. I want to come sit on the couch.
Listen,
I want to like have some
more than
Right?
welcome.
I want to like because it really does have this great balance between like it has a very professional, like I said, like there's niche, like I can definitely tell, like get a sense of like what kind of niche you're pertaining to, but also I don't feel like it comes off like super I'm not able to reach out. So there's that great balance, and I think that's really hard for people sometimes because they think they either have to have it one way or another.
Yes.
And for you to master that, so that like yes, it has that professional side where you're talking about your products, but also I just like love like posing photos. Like, I'm like, okay, I need to take some tips from her, but like I think that's a great analogy of like a truth bomb for listeners. Like, is your Instagram a house where people can see the decor, but they also want to come sit on the couch?
Right. Exactly. Because everyone knows you have been over someone else's house and you be like,
what is going on in here?
Where am I at? Why does it smell like this? The outside is gorgeous. You get inside and
that's how the hoarder show day. You go it.
Oh my God!
And the outside
right?
is clean, but in the inside, it's like, what in the world is going on here?
Listen, I'm scared every time I turn hoarders on. I'm like, is this gonna be someone I follow on Instagram?
Yes,
because you all know, like me and Kai were literally before you hopped on, like talking about like, oh, I went to pour coffee and I was like, I didn't even want to look at my kitchen this morning. Like,
I did it.
But my inventory looking stunning. Like
that's where my heart is.
Not
where those dishes are at.
People are like, oh, your Instagram be popping and you got it, and I'm like, y'all, but y'all don't really see like the craziness that goes on. So I think that hit me hard. Margaret, that hit me hard this morning. It's like, is it a house?
I like that.
So I just want to appreciate that for that truth bomb, because I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do when people come over? You clean up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Real quick.
Unless I really like you, then I'm like, here's the mess.
I'm like, come on, sit in this.
Unless you're saying you don't get the presidential treatment. Just come on over.
That's amazing. Look, when you just shut up and listen sometimes.
I just learned something today.
No, and it's something I'm like, I'm gonna take with me, like when I like post or like when I'm like looking at my Instagram, and I hope like maybe the listeners hear that. Like that, fair warning, that's a truth bomb, guys. Like, look at it. It doesn't have to be so complicated. I think people tend to look at it. I have a question for you, Margaret, because you mentioned that you have a lot of knowledge to take into the reselling world, whether it's like political or I know, or like you said, you studied sociology. So do you find that you use like sociology a little bit to help you in your business, like how your customers maybe think or how you interact with your customers?
Yes. A lot. This is a really good point. When you are sending emails out, at first I started having like our and we, and like, I'm thinking I'm not an our or we, it's just me. It's not no business out here. So I had to change up my wording. I had to make sure that my buyers knew that they are buying from me. So I change up my wording. I make it more inviting. I say, thank you for, shopping I appreciate you. I'm trying to build a really close relationship with my shoppers. I've had a numerous amount of shoppers that are repeat customers because they feel like they know me and they know that I'm going to take care of them by packaging my items, nicely and securely. Like, yes, you are patronizing my small business, and I want to show that to you by saying thank you, but not saying join our newsletter. Like, no, join my newsletter.
It's mine.
Like you got to think about when you are a buyer, or when you're a buyer, how do you want to be treated? I want to be treated like I'm the only person in the store, even if I'm 100, like one of 100. I want you to treat me as if this is my store. So I have to think on a personal level, because that keeps people, and it builds trust. People want to trust the fact that they are getting someone authentic and they care about what they're selling. I really do. When I send my stuff out, and this was on Facebook, just recently had a conversation. Someone posted a picture about a package they got, and it was packaged really sweet. It was so many comments like, "Girl, they're doing too much. I ain't about to put all that on packages and blow it up and add stuff." And I'm thinking, why not?
Exactly.
That is an extension of you. Like, I take pride in the way that my packages are shipped, and it literally to the point where I want the tape neat on like the back, or when I close my poly mailer, I don't want it to be all crumbly looking, because when I get packages and they all jacked up, I'm like, I ain't about to. They don't even care how they put this stuff up in here,
Right.
So I take pride in that, and that was a recent post of mine. Take pride in what you're putting out there. If you have already stepped out and said, I'm going to do this, why not like keep that going? Why not have an extension of you go out there, and when it's passing through hands through the post office and they're looking at the packages and they're like, this looks like a nice package. I'm gonna make a mental note, and when I get off work, I'm gonna check her website out.
I know that's right.
Do that.
I love that. Yeah, you can literally network with anyone. I tell people all the time, like, you know how many times I talk to Uber drivers from the thrift store?
Yeah.
Like, like people want to know, and if they don't want to know, they're gonna make a mental note. Like, even if they don't ask for your business card right there, they're gonna remember if you set the impression, like, that you have pride in what you do. I think that's a huge point. Like, you have to have pride. And whether you're just starting and like maybe doing a sale a day or like a sale a week, like literally those small times, I wish that I could go back so many times and just like not feel like I wasn't doing enough, but what I was doing, like I could just put more into it.
I totally, yeah,
If
that
that
definitely
makes
makes
sense.
sense. I agree with that. I get a lot of tags on my social media because I use on all of my poly mailers, I use my emoji sticker. So it's a little light-skinned person with red hair. So it's me. It typically looks just like me, thrifty redhead, and I use it on my poly mailers. And a lot of pashas that live in Northeast, they'll like tag me like, "Hey, I seen Thrifty Redhead today," and they'll tag me with my picture, and I'm like, "Oh, you were at the post office. You see my picture."
Yes,
so I'm just like, they get me. But also to go back to like, what you were saying with like your packaging and stuff, I'm gonna go back to your Instagram because I'm socially stalking you, and
I do the same.
Like, you had that recent post up there that I liked myself because I read it and I was like, this is so true, about like the simplicity in your packaging and how you want it to reflect you personally and your business. And you talked about like your packaging is so simple, but it's so cute and decent. And I just love it how you just use like the brown paper, the simple business card, the stickers, and I'm just like, it's so clean and it's also sustainable. So you talked about like how much you spent on, you know, each thing. And like the simple like brown paper is like, you sell like 15 cents, like your business card, you know, you buy that in bulk. So, you know, typically you divide that by however much, and you could be like 10 cents a business card. And then you have like your stickers and your
Right.
poly mowers. And then like all together you spend like 20 cents. Like look how sustainable that is, or look how clean that is, and look how that represents and reflects me. So I'm just
Definitely.
like, you doing the thing with
No,
that.
I appreciate that. Yay! I appreciate because I mean that's if I have that on my in my bio on my IG page, leading a sustainable life. Got to. I mean, we are in a world of sustainability. You know, we upcycle old garments. We flip things and give it a new life. And if we're not representing that and at least trying to do our best to lessen our carbon footprint, I mean, what that's the
Right.
bigger picture for me. I know a lot of people agree with that. I get that, and I ain't saying
Mhm.
that you got to be, but that's what drives me, and that what makes me feel better because I have kids, and I definitely want them to be in a world that they don't have to wear a mask
Yeah.
all the time. You know, what I'm saying? Outside of
Yes.
this pandemic, like you know, when things quote unquote get back to normal. I don't think things
Right,
will get
right.
back to normal, but we don't want it to be where there's so much pollution in our atmosphere that that's the reason why you have to
Exactly.
wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? So why not, you know, believe in what you're putting out there and keep it going. I love the natural look. I love that was some trial and
Yeah.
error to get to there. Trust and believe. I had some ugly packaging.
Oh, don't we all?
Yes,
You're like, well, this is
no,
great. And
this
then
is
you're like,
not working.
what was I thinking?
Listen, I tell you, I had some stuff, and back in before I really like. I don't want to say I
Right.
didn't care, but I just was like, let me just put it in the bag. There was some stuff I was like, woo, child, I'm about to send this out looking like this. But then I realized, okay, when I start coming up with a name and you know, I'm putting it on packaging, like, okay, this is turning to be something real, and I need to take it a lot more seriously. So I buckled down and I came up
Yeah.
with what you see now, and
And
I love it.
I think
It's
everyone loves it too.
gorgeous.
That's why you get like so
Yeah.
much good feedback on it. And people are just like, you take account of other people like social media pages and get inspiration and, you know, motivation. You're one page that I get that from as well. Like I go to your page and I'm like,
Oh,
okay, what is Margaret doing? Let me see what she popping with and see if I can get any inspiration on what to do with, you know, my stuff.
We ready to come
Yes,
sit
I'm
on
ready
your
to sit on your
couch,
couch.
Margaret?
oh yes, you know what? We need yes, I'm all for that. I
Yes.
love that whole analogy. When I was thinking of it, because I love that $1 million listing. I watched the LA
I had to
and
check
the
it
New
out.
York.
Is that on
I
like
love
HGTV or something?
I think it's
uh
HGTV, right?
Okay. I have to check that out.
yes. It just ties in. I mean, how they negotiate.
Yeah.
We negotiate pricing. How they stage the homes, how they go back and forth with the banter. I love it, and it really motivates me to stay on my game. Like just even though that they're in another industry, it still translates over to what we're doing, and I love
That's
it.
amazing.
Love it.
So Margaret, I have a question. You know, I'm just gonna ask a lot of questions today. I've had my
Please
coffee.
do.
So we talked about like all, you know, there's a lot of good in the reselling community. There's a lot of success in the reselling community, but what is kind of a challenge that you have seen in your business or have had to overcome? Because we all know here right now in this recording that, you know, there are those hard challenges, there are those hard times in any business that you run, right? But with reselling, you know, it definitely comes to the surface a lot. So what are some challenges that maybe that you've had to overcome? Because I know that sometimes when you talk about those challenges, like people are like, oh yeah, I've had to deal with that too, and if this person can overcome it, you know, I can overcome it too. So is there any challenges or like maybe challenges to like, we talked about sustainable packaging, all for it. The vegan me says yes to the sustainable packaging. But is there any challenges that you've had towards like maybe things in your business or things on your platform, like whatever you feel comfortable talking with to address?
Oh yeah. First, the most important part is yourself. It sounds super cheesy and cliche, but that is absolutely the truth. I had to get over that self-doubt, that whole ain't nobody gonna buy this. I'm picking the wrong things. There are so many resellers, there's so many businesses that they can buy from. They just gonna go over there because they're more familiar. I had to get over that. There was a reseller, and this was years ago, and I can't even remember her name. Well, I'm so bad with names, and I don't even, she had a good point. And the one thing that has always stuck with me, like I said, it's gonna sound super cliche. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So I'm thinking, what does she mean by that? Like, am I supposed to be a little bit more pushy or just more like firm on things? And once I became firm and I stood and I settled in that belief that, okay, people enjoy what I do. It may not be on a grand scale, but I am getting some looks and they're enjoying what they're looking at. I need to believe in that. So I got that self-doubt when you first start out, you don't know what you're doing. It can be, and I admit I got jealous. Oh, there was tons of jealousy out there. They got more followers than me. I have the same thumbs they got. So why aren't they buying from me? I stopped following people. I was blocking people. I was so it was so tacky. I was so tacky when I first started out because I didn't know how to handle my feelings. And then when I realized, Margaret, them niggas that
Yo, 100%.
Yes.
They ain't thinking about you. So why are they on your mind? So I had to get out of that. And once I got past that, I realized, okay, now I can flourish. I can actually believe in what I'm doing, be firm in what I'm doing. Every now and then I still get a little bit like, a little down because like I said, there's so much competition out there. But then I think about Chanel and Gucci and Louis. How are they top designers? They all pretty much same price point, but it's because they give something different, each of them. You're not gonna find that multi-pouch little crossbody thing that Louis has. You ain't gonna find that at Chanel. You're just not.
Margaret, you really pulling some things out of me. I got a notebook here. I'm taking notes. Listen, I just got to tell you something real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, by all means.
So we talked about how, we brought up that point that like your business, your Instagram is like a house, right? Yeah. Get ready for this because this just like popped up from pen to paper for me. Okay. So, we want to display what's in the house. We want to have the decor. We want to have the couch where people can come to sit at it. But when you have that self-doubt, are you letting people come live in your house without paying rent?
You see what? Yeah. Somebody out here preaching this morning.
Jesus took the wheel this morning because I'm like,
Caitlin with the word.
I'm like, no, but seriously, I'm sitting here talking about it, and I'm like, I'm all for cliche corny. Like, yes, please tell me more cliche corny things. But I was just like, when people say, like, do you let, like, I always tell people this all the time, too, when they come at me with, like, messages about, like, cases or something like that. And I'm like, are you really going to let that person live in your head rent-free? So if you're looking at a business as your house, you want to have the nice decor, you want to have the couch that people feel comfortable coming in, are you letting people sleep on that couch without paying rent?
Right. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I was like, whoa, I just have to.
No, that makes perfect sense. Like, why bombard yourself with negativity, with doubt? And then next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of bums living in your house rent free, taking taking everything that you got. Then that's what you need to think of yourself. They're taking all of my precious like energy and time, and I'm letting them consume me. They don't even know me. Girl, I got myself together real quick, and I said, Margaret, you can do a lot better than worry about somebody that is half a world away doing their own thing. So I got my but you made a good point, girl. I'm writing it down too.
Well, yeah,
that is a very good
I write
point.
down everything because that's just how I am. But I was like, that just really spoke to me, like something I took, and I was like, that's, this is what I'm so happy that you're here to discuss that, because it is so easy to get caught up in those challenges. And 100% honest, real, I don't think I've even admitted myself that I too have gotten jealous in business. Oh, yeah. Right? I think that's a normal thing for people, but when you learn to like have that, that just really stuck with me, because I was like, yo, it's literally your house and you're letting people stay in it, like, exactly, for rent free. Like, what is that doing for you? So exactly, listen, I just drew a picture of a house in my notebook. Yes. And listen, if you on this podcast too, like, have a notebook, like, write that stuff down. Like, I know Coco Color Reseller says, like, document your journey, like, the good, the bad, the ugly, the what works, what doesn't work, like, it all. And sometimes you just have those moments, like, you just draw down a picture of your house and you're like, I get it. So, Margaret, I am like, thank you for making me draw a picture of a house and really think about that this morning, because I never really thought of it that way. So, you're welcome.
It's important to take notes, because you learn everything from it. And then even for yourself, like, it's important to go back and see, like, especially like over a year, like how far you came, what can you do better, how did you achieve more. And speaking of that, 2020 was a triumph time for everyone, and it was the year of all years. So based upon last year, since we're just entering 2021, Margaret, what achievements did you have in your business last year?
Well, I had a couple. Me and Azzy, y'all know Soulful.
Yes, I follow, sis.
Yes.
She's so fun. We came up with that little Sunday smoothie Sunday little thing, and we're going to be starting that up again in a few more months, as we just get the start of the year up under us and all that. We're coming back, but that is a wonderful little live that we put on for an hour on Sundays. We have our smoothie. I typically have wine. Yes. We just have a good free for all conversation, all things resale. And that was really nice, because we're two spectrum, like from two sides of the spectrum. She is reselling is her full-time job, and it's part-time for me. So our needs and our necessities are different, but we come together and it's just a cohesive little blend, and we rock it out. Love that. Another achievement, I have product placement on IndieMaven.com. I had a bag that was placed in their like trendy section, and that was so awesome that they reached out and was like, we want to put you on our website. I was like, yes. I was so happy, and I just never thought that someone would ever like reach out and be like, we want to work with you, like, for real. So that was cool, because that goes back to that whole self-doubt. No, and when I told my fiance that, he was like, babe, why wouldn't they? And I'm like, you know what? That's why I'm marrying you. Yes. You keep me on point. And it's like the same for you, Kiaya. Like, you and your husband, your husband, fiance, y'all be.
He's number one supporter, and he always keeps me grounded, and he always like gives me the real and honest, because I always ask him, like, don't just because I'm your wife, like, don't just say yes or don't say that looks good, like, actually really tell me. And he really does, and he's like, your reaction, we probably be sleeping on the couch later on, but let me just tell you the real. Let me just tell you the real. So I love that.
I love that.
And I know Marty definitely does it for you, Caitlin.
Oh my God, all the time. I don't even ask for it. Marty just comes and listen. I don't even ask for it sometimes, but I'm always grateful for it because I'll be like, oh, this is how my, like, literally, you know, it's always just good with your partner, even if they're not a reseller, whatever they're doing, like, just stop and ask them how their day is going, especially y'all, like, we all living in the same house, like, okay, well, let's promote a good atmosphere now that we're stuck here, but, like, because no one wants to be living that, right? So, you know, just stop and ask me how the day is. And sometimes I'll be like, well, this is what happened. He'll be like, you know how you should handle this, and this is what you should do. And I'm like, whoa, appreciate.
I love that other side of the perspective. Like, it really opens my eyes. I'm like, hey, thanks for that.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's like having that, like, and I know Kiaya definitely has this too. I know that, like, Margaret, you probably have this too. It's like, it's coming from a place of love where they, like, it gets competitive. So for, like, Marty works in sales, so some days we'll be, like, competitive.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just made a sale today, and then I will fire him up to be like, oh, I got someone on the phone, and I got them to make a sale. And so it's like you get that loving competitive spirit, which also you can find in our community, right? You get your, like, as we said in episode 1, our reselling sponsor.
Yeah.
You get someone that hypes, or your hype man. You get somebody to, like, hype you up in a positive and a healthy way to be competitive, that pushes you, you know, but, like, also celebrates when you get that win. That could be a whole episode. Bring on everyone's partners.
We were talking about
that.
Oh my God. That's
we're talking about that.
We're like planning. She's like,
sign me up. I'll be on it.
So basically, we're gonna have to create a support group for all of the partners
because we know the struggle. They're like, we're taking packages, we're helping with measurements and shipments, and we're modeling and trying on our men's clothes.
I mean, yeah,
that's right.
The men's clothes is
I was
funny.
like, hey, we need a printer. Find a printer. He went some random garage sale, found a printer and all that.
And you're like,
they definitely are our support system.
That's amazing though, and I huge congratulations on the product. That's a huge step in business. Like, that's a huge one,
and it just makes you feel good about yourself. And it's like, just like you said, like, oh, like, who would want me? Like, and it's just like, and he's like, he's checking you, like, girl, do you know who you are?
That's so hard. When you hear that, you be like, I am that. I am 100%.
Like, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Like, you're the shit.
Exactly.
Love it.
You need that on the daily. You need that in the daily, whether it's like your partner or you know what? Shout out if you a single person in 2021 and you know, online dating a little bit different in these past 2 years. But like, even if you don't have a romantic partner or whatever that is, you know, you can find that.
You got that PFF out
too, right? Like, you got that PFF that's gonna hype you up, that like doesn't let you stop. And it's like, wait, but do you know who you are? Like, you gotta have that person. Like, do you know who you are? And then you're like, yeah, I am that bitch. Like,
that's right. When you start to lose focus, and it can happen when you are not making those sales like you used to. I'd be seeing some of them posts on Facebook. People be like, it's been a whole week and I haven't had one sale. I said, I'm like, y'all doing the most. It's going to happen.
It's gonna happen. Sometimes, like, even when you just step away from
there you go.
And
ding,
you're
ding.
like, oh hey.
Exactly. And to get yourself so down because of that. I know this, it can consume you a little bit because a lot of people, this is their livelihood and they got to have that, but you drive yourself all the way crazy, you know, worrying about why you didn't get a sale. I mean, I said before, this world is ever changing. It can switch on you so quick. What was trending about gold, now pearl is in. And
purple to indigo.
And yesterday it was purple.
And so now then you got to figure out how to sell all the purple stuff because you need more indigo. Woo! Yeah, it's going to have its ups and downs. I guess that's it.
Thank you guys so much for coming back and hanging out with me and Caitlin on another episode of Flip That Jawn. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as we talk to our special guest, Margaret, at September in Spring over there on Instagram. She really dropped some great gems today, and we hope it provided you with some food for thought to keep growing in your own reselling journey. Now, next week, come along with us as we discuss another topic with our special guest, Shantae _all day over there on Instagram. She's going to be chatting with us to talk about her reselling journey and how the reselling community has impacted her life. I know it's going to surely spark some interesting discussions as we talk about life as resellers together. As always, thank you for listening and learning with me and Caitlin. Let us know what you want to hear, guys. Leave us a review and don't forget to subscribe to Flip That Jawn. See you next week.